All right, what's going on, world? It's your boy Boom back at it. You know, another great interview. We got a very special guest today, man. If you guys don't know, you've seen him doing a lot of big things, a lot of big name celebrities befriend him over the last couple years as he's made his way up the ranks into Billboard Hip-Hop Editor. You know, you can't get bigger than that. That's the holy grail right here, man. That's the Mecca. But man, we got New York Zone. I mean, he used to be Brooklyn, but he ain't gonna tell y'all about that much. But look, we got Carl Lamarre in the building, man. What's going on?
What's
What's
going on, Boom? How you feeling, man? Long Island in the building. Huh?
facts, man. Look, now we got to add recording artists to
Recording
your
artist.
resume, man.
Yeah.
How's it feel being labeled as a recording artist along with a journalist and editor, correspondent, everything else in between?
Man, it's still kind of like mind-boggling to kind of hear that or try to even respond to that, because I'm so used to being the person interviewing the artist, the recording artist. So to be considered as one, it's a crazy feeling, but I'm grateful to be in that position and able to put some quality work that people have been showing love and been receptive to so far. So it's been a fun ride, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, you just dropped a, would you call it, an EP, mixtape, album? What would you call it, man? Because it's full length like an album. You got Stolly as the
Yeah,
executive producer, so it sounds like an album. You got
you know,
Rob
we
Parker
you know.
on there. You got Mickey Fax. You was really in your lyrical bag. You was like, if I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be lyrical as fuck. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I mean, I always play it safe and call it a project, but I mean, if I'm to be like super specific, like to me, it was like an album. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked on it for like 2 years, and the people that you mentioned, they were so instrumental on the album. Like a Stolly, who was one of the people that pushed me to the forefront and say, "Yo, I'm gonna need you to man up and actually put this project out." A Rob Markman, another one that was like, "I'm gonna need you to." Live your dream and live your truth and put these bars out. And, I'm grateful to have everybody that was on the project. I'm Mickey Fax, I'm Elijah Blake, Gerald Walker. These are my homies. These are not just people that, I was like, hey, fuck it, let me get a verse. These are actually people that inspired and motivated me and, was able to push me on those tracks. And, I think I was able to put a really cohesive, dope project, for a lot of people that were unfamiliar with what I was able to do on the MC side.
for sure, for sure. Now that shocked a lot of people that you were a recording artist. Now they was like, wait, what? Like, stop. But no, I want to ask, man. Like most rappers, when they first started out in their career, man, you came out as Carl Lamarre, man. What made you not decide to go with a rap name? And if you did, what were some options that you had before you was like, you know what, I'm gonna just kick it with my name and just
I
get it?
mean, it's funny because when I first started rapping, I did have a rap name, and it was just simply my initials. My stage name was CL, and I I wanted to kind of deviate from CL because I felt like CL, that was 10 years ago, and I'm in a whole different mind state, and I'm a man now. So I always thought Carl Lamar itself was a dope name, but I just never felt comfortable putting myself behind that name, if that makes sense. Even from a journalistic standpoint, like I felt like my name, I had so much I had to build behind for it to just be Carl Lamar. So, for example, like there's a track I got on the project, which you heard the project 24. Like I kind of use that as a metaphor. It's a shout out to Kobe, but like I considered CL to be the number 8 side of my career, and then 24 I consider that to be the Carl Lamar era, the new era. Me, coming into my manhood, me being refined and polished, and being like on my Super Saiyan shit, way better than when I was younger.
No doubt, no doubt. Now you called it shut up and dribble. Now I want to know, man, when did you first realize that I'm about to make an album?
Yeah, so for Shut Up and Write, man, I wasn't even in album mode. Like I think it was around 2018, and I remember just like being bored one day and just having the itch to write. And sometimes I'd be in the shower just freestyling, coming up with random bars. And one time, I just randomly started looking at beats, online, and I found a couple, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me just do some writing exercises. And it started off as a verse led to 2 verses, a track led to 3 tracks led to 5, So within like maybe a month, I had 5 tracks on deck, and I was just thinking EP. So I had spoken to Stolly, and I reached out to my boy Gerald Walker, and they didn't know that I rapped. I sent them voice memos, and I was like, "Yo, tell me what y'all think," because I know they're gonna keep it real with me. I'm like, "Yo, this shit's trash." So I sent it to them, and they were like, "Yo, you got some shit in here. This you?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Nah." So I went back in the archive and pulled out the 2011 raps, and I was like, "Yo, I kind of been doing this for a minute."
Yeah.
And the dude Style was like, "Nah, son." He's like, "Nah, this shit's crazy." So he kind of put the bug in my back, in my ear, when it was just like, "Yo, like, I think it's time for you to really step up and showcase like you can do this, because you have a pen." And the reason why I stopped rapping initially was I never was really confident in my voice and in my delivery. Like, even to this day, like, I think I've gotten a lot better, but I still think like my delivery could be sharper. But I was just like, the wordplay was always there. So I said, you know what? I got these 5 tracks. Fuck it. Let me go record. I ended up recording it in Atlanta at Stolly's crib, those 5 tracks. And I ended up sitting on them. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this shit. Like, I have them. I let random people hear it at the office, like my boy, shout out to Will Ketchum. I let him hear some tracks. I let Daytwan hear some tracks. And then I remember seeing Rob over when it was a Kanye. We were getting ready to fly to go to Wyoming for Kanye. And I had never spoken to Rob before. And I was just like, yo, I need to talk to this man. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm a competitive dude. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to dick Rod. I'm not going to be like, yo, Rob, yo, what up? That I was like, nah. But I'm like, let me put that ego aside, because I'm like, at the end of the day, yo, the dude is one of the best to do it, and I respect Rob, and I wanted to make a friendship with him. So I spoke to Rob, and I praised him and told him I commend your confidence and your skill set, because not a lot of people could say, yo, I'm gonna be a journalist, but I'm also gonna rap. And he really encouraged me and said, yo, this is something you want to do, fuck the noise, do what you got to do. So after that conversation, I ended up working on more tracks. And then fast forward to the pandemic. We get to the pandemic. I'm still sitting on tracks. And I was just like, and this is for a lot of people. It's not even just about the raps. I'm sure a lot of people had this epiphany. I'm sure you did, where you're sitting at home in the crib and you're just like, yo, there's some shit that I wish I could finish that I never got to finish. And that was one of those things. So I made sure I went back, I rewrote some tracks, and fuck it. Ended up putting out a 10-track project.
So you said you started out with 5 songs that you left pretty much just hanging around. But what was the first song that you completed that went to the album?
That I recorded or wrote?
Finished. No, I meant
that
made the final. That made the final.
I would say it was actually the track with Rob and I. It was Pure. That was the first verse that I ever wrote for that entire project. And I just sat on it. I always had the slot open, but I didn't know who to put on it. And then it hit me after meeting Rob and chopping it up with him on occasion. I said, yo, Rob would be the perfect fit on this. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, even just thinking about it now, Rob refers that track to our version of Light Up, when Hove and Drake went back and forth. And, Rob came with that big brother talk, and I came with my bag.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Pure was the first one that we ended up completing. Or I should say, I ended up writing and then actually finishing, kind of, if that makes any sense, because Rob verse came 2 years later. But if a solo track, it would probably be the intro that I finished start to finish, recorded, all that.
No doubt. Now, speaking of you and Rob, man, Rob Markman is definitely a genuine and just naturally talented lyricist, man. But
yes,
I don't know if that goes with journalism hand in hand or what, but was it intimidating at all? I mean, I know you had the conversation with him, but like, I know he gave you a pep talk, but was it intimidating at all to be like, look, I got to match this man bar for bar. I can't go in here and just let him dust me on my own track. So,
what's crazy? Like I said, like, I wrote the track in 2018. So when Rob recorded the track and wrote to the track, I sent him the track this past summer. So my verse on that track is 2 years old. But I felt so confident in it like regardless who was on the track. And that's the thing too. I didn't want it to make it seem like, especially with me and Robin, I'm glad that he delivered the verse the way he did. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to bust your ass on this. You know what I'm saying? It was just us coming together and joining forces and proving that we both are dope at this rap shit, even though we're, you know, journalists first. We still get busy with the bars. So I'm glad he was able to come through and light the shit up.
For sure, for sure, for sure. And then, man, like you said, speaking of competition, man, both in hip hop and in journalism, man, do you feel that competitive competitive nature is missing in both in journalism and in hip hop now?
I feel like it's still there. You know, I feel like it's there journalistically. I know I'm hungry as a motherfucker. You know
Man,
what I'm saying? But I'm very humble with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm very low key, but the competitive drive is always there. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Elliot, top dude right now, man. And I always tell this story because it's so funny. Like when I was like 22, I remember I was coming out of a complex freelancing job and I saw Elliot with his mom outside of the complex building. I went up to Elliot and I was like, yo, you don't know me. I'm Carl Lamarre. I'm coming up in this game. But yo, I'm coming after you, bro. Told him in front of his mom. And I think it was his birthday that day too.
oh
And
shit.
I was just like, bro, I'm coming. He was like, all right, that's cool, bro. I'm with my mom right now. I'm like, all right, hey mom, yo, I'm coming. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I was like,
Yeah,
what's up? I'm coming.
gotta let them know, man. You gotta let them know. It's a lot of people out here, whether rap or journalism or anything in any other genre, man. They always be having that whole like, I don't even see competition. I just see myself, and I feel like it's bullshit. I'll be like, yo, you gotta be competitive, and there's gotta be somebody that you see that you be like, all right, this is my peer, my rival, my competition, my final boss, or whatever. Like how we all journalists look at Elliot Wilson as that final boss, like whether I mean hip hop standpoint. But it's like, man, we gotta. Why is it so many people are afraid to admit that they are competitive in both in anything that we do in entertainment?
I think people are just scared of putting themselves out there and coming off on some cocky shit. You know what I'm saying? And worried about like the reactions they may get. But I'm like, yo, you gotta be confident in your shit. You know what I'm saying? And confident in your placement. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna, if you really want to make it, yes, you're competing with yourself. Of course, you always want to exceed your expectations. But you also know in any competitive field, there's a Jordan. And if you have any sort of drive, you want to be better than Mike. We know Mike is that guy, but why can't I be that guy? Why can't so and so be that woman to overcome, you know, who that goat is? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even going back to Elliot, a couple months ago, I remember he tweeted, he DM'd me because he was like, "Yo, you've been killing it, bro." And I was like, "Thank you, man. I'm just trying to be LeBron to your Jordan." You know what I'm saying? And like it's still that kind of, you know what I'm saying, that kind of competitive spirit. But that competitive spirit, what people don't understand, it's gonna push the culture itself even more. You know what I'm saying? That competitive drive is gonna make everybody put out their best content and make the culture that much fire. If everybody is coming on some consistent fire shit, yo, this culture is gonna be here forever, bro.
Yeah, definitely when we need it the most right now, man. Like, what was it like? I mean, you saw it firsthand, not you being one of those people, but man, in 2020 and in 2019, we saw a lot of layoffs from journalists. Like the whole staff room wiped out. Even with Billboard, even with like Bob and whatnot, like everybody just like whole staff just being completely wiped out. Even man, what was it like seeing it from a journalist point of view? Just seeing like so many people like really get affected by this pandemic.
Yeah, man. It was a scary, you know, experience. You know, I suffered with survivors' guilt for most of the time because there were so many people that I felt wish could still be here. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't a talent thing. It wasn't like they weren't good enough. Like we lost a lot of badass motherfuckers when it comes down to it. And there was a moment in time where I even questioned, damn, like should I even be here? Like I wish like show and show could be here because I'm just that much of a team player. I want to see everybody else win as much as I want to see myself win. But I knew that, you know, I could mourn, I can grieve, but I still have a position where people like in the readers, the viewers, they're going to be expecting me now to carry even more the scoring load. So I'm like, I got to make sure I'm on my A game and continue to churn out content to the best of my abilities. And if I can help people in the process, whether that is with a, you know, a story or with a connection, then I'm going to do that too.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, man, for those that don't know, man, you really had one hell of a come up in the last four years, man. Like think about it,
Thank you, man.
2015, you was at Hot New Hip Hop and Complex and still making
Yeah.
runs, like trying to, and now being the editor at Billboard for at least a year and a half now, man. Just what was one thing that you remembered that helped you get to the level you are now? Like, because a lot of people look at you and just be like, man, he did all that in like 4 years, man. I know I could do this, that, and the third in like in just the same amount of time too. So what was it that
You
kept
know,
you focused?
you know what's so funny? And I'm glad you actually brought that up. You know, people they look at your social media account and they might, or they look at, you know, whatever pops up on Google, and they see your wins. You know what I'm saying? And for like something like what you just said, you may have known me since 2015 and not known that I've been doing this since like 2008. I've been doing this since '08. My first byline was in 2008 for ballerstatus.com. It was an interview that I did with Joe Budden. And I've been working from '08 up until now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just got on at Billboard like officially full time. I started working for Billboard 2017. And a year before that, I was freelancing for Billboard full time. So people might think, okay, he's been popping for 4 or 5 years. That's all I need to do. Nah, this has been a 12-year grind. This has been a time where I was doing assignments for free, where I was hearing no every single day, where publicists were shutting me down for interviews, where publications were paying me little to nothing to get stories done, or were turning me away. You know what I'm saying? So what kept me going was just that drive and knowing that I belong here, that I'm good enough to compete and deliver fire stories. That's, as long as that fire is burning inside me, I'm always gonna, you know, continue to put out some fire shit, man. That's some quality shit, and that's what I intend to do for like years to come, man. But that's what has kept me going. It's just that drive and that fire, and that intensity to prove to people that I can deliver.
Facts. Now you talk about that on Dreamers, where you sit there and talk about, doing these bylines at big name publications and they screwing with your bylines at that, man. And then you also talk about like in 24, where you talk about working 60-hour weeks, man. People don't know
Yeah.
like what this is all about, man. But you put it
Nah,
down you put it in the words, man. You really show out. So
thank you.
what made you decide to be so personal on the album? Because during for the direction of a project, people will really be like, all right, man, do I really want to give people that? Do they want to hear this? Or like,
Yeah.
what made you decide to really shed back a lot of layers and get real personal with these people?
I think for me, I'm sure you could attest to this too, just as a fan of music, as a listener, like people may know my story as a journalist, from again what you see on social media. But I think it's important, especially for a debut project for a lot of people, because again, even though I had a project in 2011, who realistically was going to remember that or even check for it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got to kind of pull the curtains back and show people what my life, really was about. People might think it was all glitz and glamour. Okay, he's interviewing Khaled, he was kicking it with Nipsey. Nah, like there were times where I was really out in the trenches, where like I was really out here struggling, trying to fight for my byline. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make ends meet, eating freaking spaghetti every single day because I ain't have no money to,
Yep.
to 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 buy myself a good meal. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was very important for people to hear that side of the story, to know, yo, he's shining because he struggled so damn hard to get to where he is now. You can't just show people the end product without showing them the growth and the stages to get there.
Doubt, no doubt, no doubt, man. And then one thing you talk about on the project that really hit home was leadership, man. You really made an
Thank you.
effort to prove that, look, just because I'm at the top don't mean my shit can't be swept from out from under me at any given moment.
Yeah.
And explain the importance of leadership to to the culture in general. Just being that person that can either you gonna be the leader or you gonna follow suit and take and eventually wait your turn. But man, just talk about just being a leader with the shit.
I think it's important leadership because, especially with, hip hop and our culture, there's gatekeepers. You're a gatekeeper. I'm a gatekeeper. And, the generation under us, they're watching, right? And they want to see the moves that we're making because they're going to come in and they're going to take on those leadership skills. And there's going to be a time where I'm washed as shit. I want to say I'm going to be popping forever, but that's not how the game goes, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I want to realistically do the best that I can as a leader, show out as a leader, because when that time comes, I'm going to have to humbly take my washed ass to the side. And
Gracefully.
I might have to ask this 20, bro, I might have to ask this 22-year-old, yo, can I get a story?
Yeah.
Can I do this piece for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Because it's happening right now with me. There's I like, yo, it's really like idols become your rivals type shit, where it's like, yo, there's some people you've looked up to in the past where roles are reversed, and then they come to you, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, yo, can I get this story? Can I do this, do that? You know what I'm saying? And a sense of humility comes in where it's just like, yo, if I can help, if I can put you on, then I want to see everybody eat, man. But that's why leadership is important, because that's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps the culture going on, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to do it right for the youth.
No doubt, no doubt. You got a song here on the project called Young Legend, man. Just being a young legend in the game right now, man. How does it feel when people come up and ask you for advice and call you things like the GOAT, like the greatest? Like, what is it like when people just come up to you like, hey man, let me bend your ear for a little bit. I need some guidance or something. What is it like,
Yeah,
man, so young and you asking me? I'm still trying to figure it out. So,
right. I mean, it's a humbling experience, and it's something like, I remember Viola Davis. She kind of did an interview. She did an interview, and I remember her saying how much she struggled with accepting her own success. Like, I at times struggle with my own success because it's still a mind fuck to me that I'm even here. It's still a mind fuck to me that I'm respected. As confident as I am in my shit, you know how this industry is, man. They're so fucking fickle. They're so quick to shit on you. But to be, genuinely appreciated and accepted, and for people to ask me for advice, I'm humble and I appreciate that. And I take that, that makes me smile every day, man. So I'm super thankful for people showing me that love and embracing me. And that's why I'm so quick to help out and give that love back in return, whatever way that I could, man. Because again, our runs are not meant to be forever, man. Kendrick, Cole, Drake, they're not going to be running this shit forever. So it's all about making sure that, okay, you consider me a young legend now. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm really going to be a legend by grooming the young legends that are ready to come in, the younger ones that are ready to come in and take over. That'll be the bigger impact of them all.
no doubt, no doubt, man. Well, I want to ask you, man, about the project. One thing about the project, man. Where did India's interlude come from? Like, where did that originate from?
India's Interlude, that was one of the last tracks on the project. I heard the beat and I was like, yo, this shit is so fucking fire. My homegirl is actually India, who speaks on the track. I was like, yo, her voice would be so fucking perfect on this, because I was at a point where the only like track that I had that was really girl friendly, or like I would say like commercial, is Ride With Me. So I was like, yo, it's funny because my thing is making girl records. That's my penchant. That's my strong suit.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
you already know. I'm,
yeah,
I'm, I'm a light skinned dude. It's in my DNA.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. I'm an R&B dude.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I needed another bop, because I got so many bars in there. I'm like, I still got to do something for the lady. So I came up with India's Interlude, and I hit up my girl Indy, and I was just like, yo, like I feel like you would fit perfect. Your voice would really, lift the track even more. And I'm like, yo, you named India, and this is kind of an interlude. Put two and two together. India's Interlude right there. So that's actually one of my favorite tracks on the project too.
Facts, 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 man. Like you said, you got this light skin tendency, man. But you got a song called "Ride with Me," man, where you talk about the ideal woman that you're looking for, And I want to know, man, how long did it take you to maneuver out here in these streets before you realize, man, this is the woman I know I want. You ain't got it yet, but how do you know
Yeah,
this is the ideal woman for you?
man. And it's so funny because when I wrote Ride With Me, I wrote that 2 years ago, and I wrote that when I was with my ex, who I thought I was gonna marry. But it's funny because, like you said, the first verse, I really break down the type of woman that I want. And, I want somebody that is very much family oriented, that's ambitious, that's a God fearing woman. Especially, the last couple of months, I've really gotten deep with my spirituality. So somebody, oh, wow. My fault. I just got a breaking news update. Um, yeah. Thunder and Rockets got postponed. My bad.
Yeah.
But I say that because with today's climate, bro, it's so hard to find a real low key, genuine women, especially in the Instagram age, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm not gonna buy you a Birkin. I can't. I just don't say. You know what I mean? Like I'm not winning like that.
Even if I got it, I can't. Oh, I can't feel with my pockets.
You feel me? Like I'd rather us invest and do something like. But that's the climate we in, bro. And I'm not knocking people that do it. I'm not knocking the women that want it. But I know for me, like I want a woman that's gonna ride for me, that's down for me, that's willing to when I'm low, she's willing to help me get back up. Because again, God forbid, man, God forbid the day I fall off and I have a shorty that was just with me because of the shit that she's seen on IG or she's seen when I was up and when I was lit. And the day I fall off, she's just like, yo, I can't do this and jumps on the next dude. It was never real.
Facts, man. But one thing we gotta break down is something that a lot of us creatives go through, man. Like, look, so dating a creative, man, whether you're a journalist, recording artist, is
Yeah.
difficult. And they don't understand how difficult it is going in. Like, when they
Mhm.
first, you still in that honeymoon stage when you first get,
Yeah.
and then when them 3 months go away, and then you get up in the middle. I know you just like us. You get up in the middle of the night and be like, oh shit, I just thought of something dope ass to write. Whether it's journalism
Mhm.
or music, be like, yo, I'm finna get up and put it down right now. You in the
Yeah.
shower, you sitting there thinking to yourself. Next, you talking to yourself, and she be like, what you say?
Mhm.
You be like, nothing. And you be like,
I'm in the
what?
zone.
And
I'm in
they'll
the
look at,
zone.
yeah, you'd be like nothing. And then you sit here and get out and start writing and stuff like that. Man,
Right.
tell them, break down the the roller coaster ride of it is to date a creative, man, especially one in your seat right now. You at the
Yeah.
top, whether you at the top of the top, you gotta, you know, make sure you not only give the best work, but make sure you doing better than people trying to take your spot every day. It's like you got
Yeah.
a target on your back, no matter what we do. On top of that, you got to still
Yeah.
maintain your respect. On top of that, you still got to drop the dopest content musically, because people go sit there and listen to your music and be like, stick to writing about music, bro.
Bro,
And then
you got me so stressed when you rolling that shit down. Like, damn. I'm like, oh God, it's a fucking job, bro.
it's
Like,
a third job
damn.
at that. It's a third job. But man, how do you maneuver out here with relationships and being a creator, man? Because a lot of us want to need this type of advice, need this type of
Yeah.
structure and foundation to come through with this.
I mean, humbly speaking, man, and not humbly, honestly speaking, I the last couple of years I've been in a few relationships. They didn't pan out for me. I was even engaged at one point. And it's not easy as a creative only because, when you date somebody outside the industry, they're not going to understand your lifestyle. They're not going to understand, yo, I got to go to this event. I gotta go knock this joint out at 9, 10 o'clock. I'll be back by 12, 1 a.m. Or I got a deadline, or something came up. You
Yeah.
gotta find somebody that's really understanding and knows that anything could come up at any given time. You know what I'm saying? And you also gotta find somebody again that is not a sucker for social media. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to be a creative and it's hard to date as a creative in social media because people are gonna perceive the wrong things. They're gonna perceive, oh shit, so you popping on the gram, somebody commented on this. Oh, so you must be tapping that. It's not even that. It's not even that kind of vibe. It's not even that
Man,
kind of energy.
man.
These are just people that genuinely rock with me. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you're able to find somebody that's respectful, that is understanding, and that sees your drive and commitment as a positive, because the same drive and intensity I bring into the work field, I bring that into my relationships too. I go 100% hard in my relationships, and I
How?
go 100% hard with the boss, and I go 100% hard with my interviews and my stories. I'm consistent in every shape and fashion. And if my partner is able to understand that, then I think that's a quality partner for me.
No doubt. Now, how many girls would you say you've been in relationships with that, let social media like crumble the whole relationship? Like, well, girls like, they see what we do and they see the interviews,
Yeah.
see the big names, and they be like, yo, can I get a picture of me and you on there, like in the middle of you doing all these interviews, just to, show that we out here. Like, man, how does this work for you, man?
Man, I think, fortunately, like, my past few relationships, like they never really they never were too jaded by like the whole like stardom thing. I mean, yeah, there were moments of insecurity, and they kind of erupted into something bigger. And that just comes down to insecurity and jealousy. And I can't help you with that. I can only no that, but that's real though. Like, that's something that's within. I can only try to be a partner and continue to show you like you have nothing to worry about, and provide you with affirmations, and just do things to make you trust me. But if that's something you struggle from within, then I can't help you. You gotta pray to God. You gotta do some therapy. That's real talk, bro. Like, and that's the thing with us today as we get older, especially as Black men, and even with Black women. We got to make sure we take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually before even jumping into a relationship. Because if you jump into a relationship broken, that relationship's going to be broken.
No doubt, no doubt. Now going back into the project, man, tell me what your mental health was like making the project, because you made this during the pandemic. You made it like everything was going on for us, man. We lost Chad, Kobe,
Yeah,
fucking no matter what. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people in hip hop, Bond, Marlo, like the list,
yeah.
Mo3, the list go on and on, man. But like, what was it like, man? What was your mental health like making this project during the pandemic?
It was a little bit. It was tough, mainly because of the losses, like you said, and it kind of worked out in my favor a little bit. Like with 24, I mean, I'm not in my favor in a good way, but like with 24, I was able to add in some like toppings to make the track really full, and like that's with the Kobe tribute. You know what I'm saying? Because I originally made 24 in 2018 before he passed. But I had no idea, obviously, going into 2020, having that track and knowing what happened, that, okay, how am I going to make this work? So I think it was important for me to really highlight the losses that we had in 2020 and pay homage respectfully. Kobe's somebody, like, to this day, I have not gotten over that death, man. Like, that shit still fucks with me. So I was like, if I'm going to do 24, I need to do it right and make sure I pay homage. So I looked at it as being therapeutic, this whole project. And even with Young Legend, man, like, I needed to make sure like I paid homage to the young legends that we lost. Like, you hear Nipsey on the track, you hear Mac Miller, you hear Juice World. So I kind of took those losses and flipped it to make it a more positive thing, and me paying homage, and that kind of soothed me during the creative process for Shut Up and Write. So that really was helpful during that creative stage.
For sure, for sure. Now, where did the title of "Shut Up and Write" come from? Obviously, we know you got "Shut Up and Dribble," but where did
Yeah.
you be like, "Hey, man, this fits me just fine"? Shut up and write. So, like, would you say that people, when you first started sitting there saying, like, "Hey, I'm gonna really try this music shit out," and they was like, "Yeah, nah, I think you too old. You should stay in your lane." Like, is that what spawned the title, or?
Yeah, man. We were me, and shout out to Mark. Mark's a dope writer over at Hip Hop DX. Um, I was at dinner with him, and he's also an executive producer on the project. I was out with him and my boy Raphael, and we were talking about the project, which was originally supposed to be the Atlanta sessions. I was excited for it because I recorded most of the project in Atlanta. And just looking back on it, it did not really resonate with what was going on now, and what I was putting together for the project. And Mark sat there and he was like, yo, bro, you got to think about really what's going to hit home as a title, because the way you're going, you're going to have people that's going to say, yo, why the fuck are you rapping, my dude?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you worry about your interviews, bro? Like, shut up. Like, bro, shut up and write. Do your job, my dude. And he just said it like that casually. And I was like, yo, that's I was like, yeah, like, bro, talk to Khaled, bro. Like, we don't want to hear you rap, son. And that's when it hit me. I was like, yo, you know what? Shut up and write. So it's like, all right, say less. And it's kind of a double entendre. Like, Cass is telling me, yo, just shut up and write. I bet I'm gonna shut up and write, and I'm gonna give you some shit. So it worked out for us really well.
No doubt. Now, man, when people listen to this project, man, they're gonna really hear an impressive lyrical prowess from you. But look, man, what do you think you really shined on, and what you think you really improved on? Because you witty, and you stayed with the double entendres throughout the whole project.
Thank you.
And what did you kicked it with, New York is always shady, that's why I can't get a tan, you was in there really spitting. So what?
Bruh, not to cut you real quick. You know what's so crazy? Because I did another interview with these UK dudes. Like that bar, when you it's so crazy because that bar, to me, looking back on it, I was like, yo, that's probably one of my weaker bars on that joint. But I appreciate you even saying that, man, because I was never a lyrical dude, which is so crazy that we're having this conversation now. Nah, the real talk, bro. Back in the day when I used to rap, I was always a flow guy. Like, I would always try to experiment different flows, and I always be rapping super fast and trying to be on my twisted shit. And with this project, I really wanted to make it a thing where I'm like, okay, cats are really gonna see if you can rap, bro. They know you can write as a journalist, but you can't be a dope writer as a journalist and a shitty lyricist. Something has to stick, especially if you have Stolly out here executive producing your shit. Cats are gonna look at you crazy.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I come with bar, bar, bar. And I think what really, like, when I think of it, man, I think of the intro, man. Like the intro, like I just, like you mentioned the New York bar, I was just coming. Like, follow the lead as a new Jeter. I've been nice, rocking the pinstripes, Bronx Bomber, I'm Obama, because I never had a midlife crisis, ISIS. When not right, this on the pen and pad, I'm Trinidad with the jabs, I'm Gucci. Because I've been in my bag, Dad. I'm Andre in Baghdad. I put them in, come on, man. I put them in trash bags. I'll body them. And then I'll take them to the Hudson. Man, I'm Duncan. Now, hold on, man. I'm Duncan, not Tim Duncan, doing donuts on these munchkins. They can't function. Why? Punching when the flow is elite. I just blaze anything when I jump on the beat. The feet is something I can't stand. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, every bar kind of, it requires you to, like, have that rewind factor, like, oh shit. And that's what I kind of was going for, that oh shit factor. I didn't want to make it so easy for cats to first listen.
Yeah, definitely. But what do you think do you feel like you evolved as a recording artist throughout the years? Like, you became more witty, more charismatic? What would you say?
I think I became more witty and charismatic. I think I was able to really showcase a sense of lyricism. I think I was able to really evoke emotion. Like, I think the outro shows that, I can really hit home, and I could really hit deep, no pun intended, would come home, but I could really, dish out some quality bars, but storytell at the same time too. Like, I gave people a real clear picture of my life growing up and my relationship with my father. So I think my growth really comes from my pen really sharpening up, and me being able to storytell, and me being able to really create some kind of emotion, and stir the pot up and get people and really tug heartstrings for people.
Sure. Now, I was talking about stirring the pot up, man. Look, I mean, you cool with the lyrics, man, but ladies gonna be listening to this. Like, did you record most of the tracks and you was listening back and you was like, damn, girls gonna think I'm an asshole. I'm chauvinistic. I'm asshole. I be playing with the ladies' hearts. I be tugging. And did you think that when you were listening back, you was like, damn, man, shit. These girls gonna be upset, man. Shit.
Nah, I don't think so, because when I was in my bag, sorry about that. When I was in my bag, that was just me being witty with it. You know what I'm saying? I think when it comes down to it, and thankfully, shout out to my mama, but I have a real strong track record with women because I was raised by a single mother for, second half of my life. And I have really dope quality women in my life. So, yeah, as a rapper, you're going to have witty banter. You're going to say some slick shit, but then it goes back to like a ride with me that really shows, my mindset and what I want in a woman. You know what I'm saying? Same way, city girls could get in a bag about cats and I was being brokies. You know what I'm saying? So it's an even playing field at the end of the day. I'm not out here wilding, trying to violate chicks, because that's not my MO. You know what I'm saying? But I will say some witty, slick banter just for wordplay purposes.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, how many of these bars, man, was you jotting down and you was like, let me text a girl first to see if this worked, and then it worked, and you used it in the track?
Give me an example.
I mean, you told girls, I ain't gonna be. I'm pretty much. You was like, I'm only here for one night. You going to catch me later because I got moves to make and stuff like that. But how many of
No,
you?
there's no texting. There's no texting. I don't need permission. You know what I mean? I'm a big boy. I'm 31 years old, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need no permission to be like, yo, yeah, I mean, you cool with it? Nah, man. And if anything, I think I'm mature enough to understand if I am gonna cross that line, then that's something I need to really sit and digest and talk to my team about. Like there was one record which I didn't put on the project because I just knew for my sanity and my mental health, if I put that record out as the outro, I would have started some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't need that kind of energy because I wrote that 2 years ago. And then I was even bashing my dad on that record, and I was just like, certain things don't need to be said. You know what I'm saying? And you still got to have some kind of decorum. I will be playful and witty, but I'll never cross that line. I'll never cross that line.
Facts, facts, facts. Another thing about the project, man, you look. I ain't gonna lie. After listening to the project, I was like, this motherfucker watched a lot of Power when we when you because you was dropping all the ghosts and Dre gems and everything. I was like, this nigga watched a lot of Power while making this project. That's why he
Shout
added
out to
hard
Ghost,
shit.
man.
Yeah, he was. What was it about the show that just made you so infatuated and made sure you put it in all the bars, man?
Yeah, I
He was
definitely
like, I'm a
had a
businessman. I'm a lover. I'm a lover of many, man. I'm moving.
I'm an ain't shit dude, clearly with the bars. Ghost was ain't shit.
Yep.
Man, I think the writing it's immaculate writing, bro. I think Courtney Kemp, what she's been able to do with her team, and shout out to 50, bro, for seasons 1 through 6, it was flawless writing. I mean, season 6 was a little, yeah, but it captivated so many people, and it brought in our community, bro. Like we really needed a show that we can, champion every Sunday, and even with Power Book, man, like I was a little. I was a little concerned. I questioned, this new spinoff that they have, but I've been really locked in. I don't know about you. I've been locked in, man. My man Tyreek holding it down right now. Michael Rainey.
He definitely getting a lot of action right now. He's flexing a little bit. He over here,
Yeah.
flexing a little bit. He doing better than Ghost. He juggling. He like, look, Dad, you had 2, I got 3, man. I got 4.
Yeah, he's kind of out here, whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? Skip to my Lou with it.
Moves, yeah, and he a heartbreaker, boy. He'll tell a girl with a straight face, like, I don't love you.
He cold blooded, man. He a cold blooded cat, man. He learned from his papa, man.
He learned from the best of them out here in the game. Learn from the best. Now, man, another thing that people want to talk about with this project, man, Stally executive produced the project, but we got to know, man, where's the Stally verse?
Man, me and Style. So it's crazy because me and Style, I would always be on his ass and be like, "Yo, I need a verse. I need a verse." And I'm working on a remix. So me and him are actually supposed to do a track together. That's a remix on the project. We're supposed to actually do a remix of 24 because he did ad libs on 24. but we never got a verse down. So I was actually working on trying to do some remixes for the project for Shut Up and Write, like 3 or 4 tracks. Like Love Me with Mickey Fax, I was gonna do a remix on that. I was gonna do a remix on 24, a remix on Black 100. So there you go, a little nugget right there. Like people could be on the lookout. We're gonna have a little EP of remixes coming real soon for Shut Up and Write, and Styles verse should be on there.
Facts. What about video?
Man, videos are expensive, bro.
How you going to put out a project? You was like, I know I got to shoot a video for this.
Nah, you know what? You know what it is too. I was actually going to shoot Ride With Me, and then I was.
You really was a lover boy. You was like,
I mean,
to a girl. You was like, man, I wonder which girl I can get. Man, I'm trying,
bro. Like I got the girl. I got everything. I had everything for Ride With Me, and then towards the project, everything had gotten so crazy because the release date and then me trying to knock the shit out with Rob as far as like the Twitch listening, and then I was simultaneously working on the cover story. So I was working on the Cardi cover story. So timing just stopped me from being able to put out a video then. But I'm definitely looking to put out some videos. I might even do like a 2-in-1. Like I was thinking like an India's interlude Ride With Me kind of thing. So we gonna see. I mean, Pure, that's another thing we've been floating around too. Pure, me and Rob might do something. You know, I saw Dipset do the shit at the Garden. Me and Rob might have to go to Barclays and do something. I don't know.
Man,
we'll see though.
I can fill up the Barclays, man. It's a lot of people that support both of y'all, man. Y'all can try and go out here and fill out this Barclays Center and get it popping, get it right. That'd be like that'd come full circle right there. That'd be like, man, he was right. He be writing about artists, and now he up there performing like the artist, man. Shit.
And you know, and that's Rob. That was Rob's story on Pure, man. Like a lot of haters would talk shit about Rob, but my man Rob fucking just sold out at the Barclays, opening up for Logic. Like, come on, man.
Now look, the chemistry with you two on that song, man. Did that not spark any discussions of, man, we should do a collaboration tape? We journalists and artists, we could do it, man. We can definitely get the
man. I would love to do that with Rob, man. I know Rob is like knocking joints out already. I know he's working on his album. I'm working on a new project. So I mean, I think we would definitely kill it. I think that's something for us to discuss too. I would be down to do a journalistic, like, can you imagine, man, like top journal dudes end up doing like a mix. Oh my God. And we're barring up. Like, come on, man. Like that would be fun.
Feature requests would be endless too. They'd be like, I got to get on there, right? I got to.
Bro, I mean, you might be on to something like that, man. We might have to throw you a credit, throw you a point on that, man.
I'm gonna have to throw you a point. Man, speaking of features, man, you had your Mickey Fax, Rob Marksman's, DJs. You had Elijah Blake, and man, but people want to know, man, you've interviewed so many big names, you've befriended so many big names in this game, man, but like they would think that somebody who's at the top of the top would have a pick of the litter of who they want to come feature on their project, even though we both know, look, it ain't really like that. Like, look, it ain't nowhere near like that. Look, why was it that? What made you really be so personal with the features? Like, I mean, you were personal with your wordplay, with your story, but you made sure to add the correct type of sound, tone, and rappers to be like, look, this helps make or amplifies the personality of me. So, what made you decide to run with these boys as a feature?
Man, I think, a lot of people underestimate the value of a feature. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, I can hit up Drake. Yo, Drake, let me get a 16 real quick. I don't got that luxury. And yeah, I interviewed a lot of cats, but it's also about who I trust enough to put on a record with me and who rocks with me, actually. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that, and I'm sure you experienced it too. You've interviewed a lot of people where it's just like, fire interview, and that is that. And you keep it like that.
Right?
Yeah, like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've interviewed Nas. That doesn't mean I'm Nas, yo, Esco, let me get this. Nah, bro. It's not like that. I'll be damned if Esco even remembers me. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna remember. He remember.
Come on, bro.
No doubt.
But with those guys, and those were also people that championed me to rap, that believed in me. So I was even more invested in people that knew of my story. They knew the direction that I wanted to go in, and they had a strong belief in the music that I wanted to put out. Not to say a lot of people that showed love, you know what I'm saying, that I wouldn't want to work with them. I also wanted to make it of a task too. It's not about who you can get on the tape. It's about me. This is a project. It's about me. It's my technically to people my debut projects. I
Yeah,
wanted to not, yeah, let them get lost in the sauce with the features.
no doubt. But I mean, delivered a project that even us know about, like as far as past hip hop projects. You know, usually the greatest ones be the ones with not that many features and not the
Yeah,
biggest name features. They be like the come ups at the time or whatnot, or just good chemistry, or just met that night.
yeah.
So, but I also got to ask, man, with you doing so many interviews, look, was there ever a time when you were doing these interviews where you was like, man, I'm gonna shoot my shot, I'm gonna ask him for this 16? And if it was, who did you think about asking, like, hey, look, man, can I get a 16?
Not a 16, but it's funny because, before Nip passed, I was in talks with his team about just having him speak ironically on Young Legend. Like I wanted him to just talk on it, like do a quick intro on it. And the last before he passed, the last interview that we had together, which is on the track, we were talking about me coming out to LA, us kicking it. And I was actually going to present, hey, Nip, this is what I'm doing. Was good because his management, they knew of it. I was going to present it to him himself, like, yo, this is what I'm doing. I'd love for you to bless me. And I was going to call it a day after that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one person I was really like gunning for. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, I would love, no pun intended, I was really aiming for, I should say, to really get on a track with me. Everybody else, man, like it would be nice to have, but I'm not pressed at the end of the day either. If they want to work with me, then cool. But I'm not desperate to be like, yo, I need this verse. I need a 16 kind of thing. I'm still in a show and prove, mentality right now. Cause I know I got shit to prove as an MC still.
Facts, man. But like when you started your project with Back to Work and whatnot, man, you really gave a lot of people a background of who you were and like where you.
Yeah.
But man, I want to know, man, what was the first day of Billboard like for you? What was the first day going to work? And he was like, not the first day as a freelancer. I'm talking about the first day as a full
As
time.
a full-time employee.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? My way to work, my first day, guess who I see on the railroad? I see my brother B Dot. And that was the first time I've ever met B Dot. And me and B Dot, I went up to B Dot. I was like, yo, B Dot, I don't think you know me, but my name is Carl. I was like, yeah, I heard the name before. And I would always get that. Before I came up, I would, because you know how it is, like, yo, Boom, like, I've seen Boom now. Obviously, we got Zoom and everything, but you would see the byline, like, I've seen Bryson shit before,
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So I went up to B Dot and I sat right next to him and he gave me so many gems. I told him, I'm like, yo, this is the position I'm taking. This is what I'm going into. And he was like, yo, bro, never lose sight of what your end goal is. You're gonna be here, take advantage of what you got to do, create that identity for yourself. But remember, you're not just a publication. Like you want to still live out your dreams and build out a brand, your own brand, and become this force on your own. So that, man, that's honestly what I remember the most of my first day. Like I couldn't even tell you what else happened after that. It was just that conversation because it was stuck with me so hard ever since then. Because I think maybe a year later after that, the next time I saw B Dot was at Genius. And me and him did a Genius discussion together. And he was like, oh shit. And he's like, yo, what's good? He's like, yo, I told you we would see each other again. You know what I'm saying? So within a year's time, I'm like, yo, I'm sitting next to B Dot at a panel discussion. I'm like, all right, so I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And then I just been accelerating from there. So that was kind of a trippy experience for me.
Sure, for sure, man. Like people don't know, man. This business is it's an elevator ride, man. It's
It's an elevator ride and it's so small, bro.
yeah.
Like you'd be surprised how small this industry. It's really not that big. People think it is, but it's really not that big, bro.
Facts. It's not, but like just seeing, like I said, it's an elevator ride. Like think about it, you man. You remember your first day, you saw B Dot, and then you saw Elliot, and you know, you told me you was coming for him and everything like that. You seen all these Rob, even you saw Shaheem, whoever else at any other
Yeah.
outlet that was
Shout out
at
to
the
Shaheem.
top at the time. And it's like, see you like not them on the decline, but see you get to that point and then even accelerate further to being one of the most recognizable editors in music journalism, man.
Thank you.
And being a black man at that, man, what's it like, man? Or if you could advise people on this elevator ride, like, look, man,
Yeah.
look, I got up to the top, but it don't mean I can't fall tomorrow, man. Explain the importance of this elevator ride we endure on a daily basis.
Man, it's a tiring ride, but it's a rewarding ride. You know, you got to stay patient and you got to stay hungry. It's as simple as that, man. Like, again, I told you it took me 12 years to get here. Bruh, some people would give up in two. I know people that's given up in two. I know people that's given up in 6 months.
Yeah.
I know people that's given up in 4 or 5 years. It's really how bad you want it, you know. And within that, during that time span, I always made sure to, you know, stay connected to my editors, to fellow writers, and build out those relationships. And I think something that kind of I undermined, not really undermined, but I kind of want to, you know, bring up even more, like a B dot, like a Rob, like a Elliot. If you notice those cats you brought up, the common denominator for each one of those, I went up to them every time out. And I said, yo, my name is Carl. This is who I am. Don't be shy or hesitant to connect, because at the end of the day, yo, we're all humans. We all have the same 24/7. We all eat, sleep, and shit. Like, don't think no one man or woman is higher than you.
Mm.
You're like, yeah, I'm the hip hop editor at Billboard, but I still treat everybody as an equal at the end of the day. I don't look down on nobody because, like I said, that fall is steep, my brother. That's
Yeah.
a steep ass fall, bro. And I'm humble enough to say, yo, I could fall off at any time. Do I want to? No. Will I? I pray that I don't. But at the same time, come in this game hungry, come in this game patient, come in this game willing to work and connect with people, and come in ready to make an impact. So those are my thoughts right there.
Facts, man. Speaking of those three big names, man, like we gotta understand, it's a lot of women out here doing their thing right now, man.
Yes.
Who are some female journalists that you've been reading lately that inspired you?
Man, shout out to Naima, man. Naima, she's been busting ass. She came through with a dope feature for us when she did the Versus story. I know there was some backlash behind that, but I thought she penned the shit out of that story. I think Taylor Crumpton, super fire. She's a beast at what she does. Jewel Wicker, she's a beast at what she does. Bianca Gracie, that's my homie right there. She's been knocking out different publications and just, man, putting out some killer content. There's a lot of strong, beyond exceptional black women out here that have been really carrying the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to say that they've been holding it down more than some of us dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I think they deserve their flowers immediately and ASAP. And you can't forget about, you know, the veterans. You know, we have Kathy who's coming out with her book soon, out here killing it, man. There's a lot of dope, savvy people out here, and I can't wait to see where this goes. Like Regina Cho, that's another one, hard worker out here killing it, man. And this is a diverse crowd too that I'm loving, man.
No doubt.
So I can't wait to see where they take it.
Definitely enjoy seeing they come up, man. But also we saw this year, man, was the full fledged surge of female hip hop come to the forefront, man. Look,
Talk about it.
it's been going on. It's been peaks of it for a minute. You know, it'd be Nicki 1 minute doing her thing, then Cardi would come through and do her thing. Now we got Mulatto, we got
Big Lotto.
yeah, we got Mulatto coming through. We got Cardi still doing it. Nicki, even she pregnant as hell, still dropping bars, man. It's so many people out here doing Flo Millie, fucking
Flow.
so many female rappers that you could think of out here really, really doing their thing. Megan Thee Stallion, obviously. But seeing the female rappers do their thing and female journalists actually coming to the forefront and writing the dopest shit possible, man. What could these two genres do together that we need to see within the next year or so that could really like set a bar that could really never be reached?
I think continue to be fearless. you know, and I think we've been seeing that from both sides of the spectrum. I think with, you know, the female journalists, we've been seeing a lot of fearlessness, a lot of courageousness, a lot of boldness when it comes to tackling these stories. And that's the same thing we've been seeing from these female MCs, man. Like you look at the list of, you know, artists you name, like a Mulatto, a Big Lotto. She's like 22, just turned 22, fearless with it. Flo Millie, fearless with it. Cardi, Megan, fearless with it. City Girls, fearless with it. And, you know, one artist who I've been really riding hard with, and, you know, shout out to her. She just got her first Grammy nomination in her rookie year. Chica. Chica is probably one of the most talented MCs, period. I'm not talking about women MCs. I'm talking about MCs, period. And even speaking of lyricists, you got to talk about Rhapsody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, women are really out here and they could fuck up a lot of shit for dudes. Like, when I say, like, bars, you put Chica, Rhapsody, you throwing Megan, like, yo, you throwing Big Lotto, like, what? Come on, bro. Come on. And even, bro, real quick, and even though it was an R&B cipher, like you look at the BET Hip-Hop Award, that cipher was the most fire with Erykah Badu, with her, with Brandy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
One thing we can say about this year's female presence, man, is the bravery. Because, like, not only them rapping bars, not only them writing dope content, they actually revealed a lot of issues within this industry, and we're fearless to come forward to speak on social media with everything going on about what went on in the past, what went on during their career, what's going on now, what hasn't changed. Like, what do you, when you see that as a male, man, like just seeing them be so brave and so fearless with tell-alls, or just giving their thoughts, or giving their their past experiences, man. What do you feel like? I feel like, damn, we really need to do better. But what do you feel when you see these stories and these comments and these statements?
You know, initially I'm hurt. I'm disgusted, you know, by the colleagues that we have in this industry, the male colleagues. And, you know, I think a problem is a lot of people that when they get that power, they don't know how to manage it appropriately. And what they do is they start preying on women because of that power and and that authority, and they think they're able to run away and do shit, you know, just because, okay, I have a high esteem title at this publication, and I know how bad these girls need to get on. So I'm going to take advantage of my power. And I'm like, nah, bro, we're not here for that. We're here to lead. We're here to be responsible. We're here to help people grow and groom them to get to a place where they can be the next leaders. And by taking advantage of them, that's not what it is, bro. Like, somebody in my position, man, that's why I always made it a thing. And, you know, I think my track record speaks for itself. I've always made sure to hire, you know, in terms of freelancers, like a diverse crowd. You know, when you look at my writers, I have Black writers, I have white writers, I have Asian writers, Hispanic writers, and I really, you know, lock in with my my women writers too, because I just know how talented they are, and they're, like I said, they're as talented or even better than some of their male contemporaries. So to take advantage of those women that's, you know, vying for a spot, that's only diluting the culture even more, and those people got to, you know, get kicked out immediately, man.
Facts, man. But look, man, I know we probably see females doing their thing, and a lot of males, black, white, whatever, man. But look, so a female journalist comes up to Carl and be like, "Hey, I'm gunning for you. I want your spot." Like, do you ever have these conversations with other female journalists that would say, like, all right, as far as we went back and said, like, you know, journalism is competitive and music is competitive. A female journalist, our rapper, comes up to you and be like, "Hey, Carl, I want your spot, man. I'm coming for you." What do you say? What do you tell them?
Take it. Take it. Like I don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't feel some kind of way if, you know, a woman writer came up to me and said, "Yo, I would welcome it. I'll say, yo, let's go." Just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to this, it's all about skill set. It should only be about skill set. It shouldn't be about gender. You know what I'm saying? If a woman, even when it comes to bars, You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we gonna bar up. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna bring it 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure to go below the belt, but I'm gonna treat it as a competition in every sense of the word. I would welcome it. You know what I'm saying? And if I was able to get ousted out of my position from an MC, whether it's from an MC standpoint or a journalistic standpoint, I'm gonna welcome it 100%. That just shows I didn't show up that day. I'm not gonna be, some sourpuss about it. I'm just gonna say, yo, I didn't do my thing, but I'm congratulate you and keep it pushing.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, being as an editor, I got to ask you a question that a lot of up and coming journalists, our established journalists, want to talk to with their editors about. They don't get the
Yeah.
chance to ask because like you said, editors be on some power trips and stuff, just like other journalists on out here. But man, we come from an era where it was the blog era, where it's about breaking artists. That was the point of a story. That was the point.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the main thing we publicized and popularized ourselves on as outlets, man. But I want to ask you, man, if how would you explain to an up and coming journalist that approaches an editor with a breaking artist, a brand new artist, not sitting here with the bells and whistles, don't have the major label backing, but is a dope, skillful MC. What do you say what would you advise as a journalist to tell to an up and coming journalist about breaking new artists?
Yeah. If you like are really adamant, about this artist, and I'm assuming you mean like if they're pitching to me, you know, um, just show me what the selling point is. Help me see what it is, because it's tough in this climate. Because shit, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to certain stories, we might have to look at the numbers. Numbers comes up. Sometimes not even about skill set anymore, man. But I can give you an example where I overlooked the numbers. There's a bunch of times, if you look at even my own stories, where I overlooked the numbers because the skill set was just there, or the proper pitch. That's another thing too. It's all about the pitch. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to pitch me and blow me away with your pitch, then I'm willing to take an extra look at the artist, even if the bells and whistles and the numbers aren't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an artist like who had pitched. A publicist actually pitched to me a while back, and I actually became cool with him. Marlon Craft. I think he had a phenomenal 2019, and he had a great 2020. White MC who can bar up with anybody. And I get thousands of emails a day. Man, it was funny because how they got my attention. They sent me like a care package, and they sent me like a halal food with like a shirt, and the design on the shirt looked so fire that made me want to check out his music. And when I checked out his music, the project was so fire to the point I had to post him up on the gram. And I showed Will when Will was at Vibe, and Will was like, yo, this dude is dope. To where I ended up interviewing him myself. And I was just like, yo, just the rollout of certain shit, can really, open up doors for you. Because, bro, I'm sure you get it all the time. And I've seen it when you posted. I remember I seen it. I was laughing at myself. You posted cats hitting you up on IG. And I get that all the time. And imagine how many people hit you up on a daily. Like, yo, can you listen to my music? I'm a new artist. Can you listen to my music? You got to find ways to reel people in, bro.
Get that right up, man. Can I get that right up? Can I get that interview?
Bro, I swear to you, I wish there's so many write-ups that I can do for artists like that. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's other writers like you too. Like, you feel you can help, but it's also realistically, we only have 24 hours in a day. How many artists can we help? So we try to weed out the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I think it comes down to having a real compelling pitch to really win editors over. You know what I'm saying? Show me why this artist he might not have the numbers, but he's compelling. What is his story? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be captivating for a reader? You know what I'm saying? You got to have a really dope hook to sell people in, especially for the publication that you're writing for. You got to do your homework too on the publication to see what kind of stories they're going for, before presenting the story.
No doubt, man. And then, like I said, we came from that blog culture, man. That glorious blog era,
The
man.
blog era, man.
That made the stars that we love and enjoy today, like the Wale's, like the Big Sean's, Kendrick
Yes.
Lamar's, J. Cole's, Lupe Fiasco's.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we was talking about just the legacy of that time period. But man, I gotta ask you, being an editor, man, do you feel like hip hop blogs are dead?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I had to really think about it. I mean, like you have some that are still, kind of functioning out here, like Rap Radar, but a lot of these publications become a hub. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, the new rap blogs are now Instagram accounts in the comment sections on the Instagram accounts. If you look at somebody like Elliot Wilson's Instagram account, he might post something and you see the comment section. It looks like it's a not right comment section. Same thing with academics. It becomes a whole conversational piece within itself. Like I'm sure you saw when B Dot posted his top 10 and you saw just the comments and the arguments that ensued to where it became a whole talking point on Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? It became his own Clubhouse chat room. It had like over 800 people in there. Right. So I think, and that was just spawned off social media, a simple tweet. You know what I'm saying? A simple tweet that ended up being an IG post, that ended up being a Twitter post, and it just exploded into that. So I think, yeah, rap blogs are dead because social media just came and wiped the whole shit out.
Facts. Now we say that, but like when we say that, it would be better understood his list if he was able to explain each of these ranks or each of these.
Yeah, I was joking around with B Dot because I said like, yo, bro, like this is pretty much your favorite albums list. Like this is not a best albums list. You know what I'm saying? This is your favorite albums. Because I even when he had his whole like MVP list, I'm like, there's no way you're gonna say Lil Baby's not a top 3. And I love Griselda, I love Freddie Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way you can knock out Lil Baby from contention if he's not even top. If he's not number 1, he needs to be top 2. Shit, even top 3 is kind of pushing it. You know what I'm saying? So you need to kind of like tighten up your criteria when you do something like that. And that's why I think a lot of people kind of got at him on the Clubhouse app and they were like, yo, bro, like this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. But B Dot, he's normally on point with his picks and his takes. So I'm not even mad at it.
I mean, speaking of being on point with his takes, man, was you. And I think a lot of journalists can learn from you being able to speak freely as long as they give it an intellectual outlook on it and just not be completely biased. Was when you did the story with Bryson Tiller. You actually talked about how his last project wasn't as great as the new one.
Yeah.
And you were able to say that and be like, look, it wasn't up to par, but we're gonna talk about this new album and talk. And he allowed you to say that and still talk about it without being like, all right, take that part out. Like, a lot of artists be like, yeah, if you say my shit suck, we can't even have a conversation. But man, how do you establish a balance where you can speak freely and be unbiased, but still give the correct outlook on it? Like, just to be like, look, it's not great, but it's not your best work, it's not what you did last time, but whatever you come out with next, maybe maybe it can get better. So
man, I like that. I like that question a lot, and I like that you brought up Bryson. I completely forget, and that's one of my favorite interviews this year. I think with Bryson, it's so crazy because I remember the headline fucked everybody up when they saw it, and I loved Bryson's honesty in that interview, and I think I was able to get him to such a good place because one, just the type of interviewer that I am. I always try to project myself as unbiased, but I'm also, as a fan of the music, I'm going to come with fan questions. But as an artist, I'm also going to ask artist questions. So you incorporate the fan, the artist, and the journalist in me. I'm going to come even keeled. And I think he felt that energy because I didn't come off the gate on some like, yo, bro, this shit was trash. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of, I sprinkled in my questions and I paid him homage when it was due because I think that's another thing too. Artists are liable to have bad albums. It happens. Cats have bad games all the time. But because a cat has one bad album, one bad game, cats are ready to write them off. And I think he understood. He even said it himself, which I think is why it lessened the blow. He came out and he said, "Yo, my album was trash." He came out on Twitter. He said, "Yo, this album was weak." And I think when we kind of spoke about it, and I said I knew the factors behind why the album was weak because his mental health game wasn't there. He wanted to just he wasn't in the music space. He wasn't in that headspace. And I think us being able to touch on that and really get him comfortable made that interview and that piece so fluid and easy to project that to the world, to be like, Bryson struggled this time around, but I think he's going to be able to pick it back up. And that's the main thing with interviews. You gotta be unbiased all the way through. You gotta ask the hard hitting questions, but you gotta do it in a way you're not being a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain art to asking questions. You know what I'm saying? And there's a way to do it. You're not gonna come off rip. All right, Carl. First question, yo, shut up and write. That shit was trash, bro. I need to know, like, I need to know why did you come out with this shit? Because I'm already gonna be in agitation mode. I'm be like, all right, bad. But if they see that you've done your homework, if you've done the due diligence as a journalist, you're not coming on some clickbaity shit, you're actually asking some thoughtful shit, the energy is going to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? I think the hardest interview I had this year was probably 6ix9ine, because the energy, he's already an agitator, and he's a smart kid. He's already an agitator. And once he feels that you have a one-up on him, he's gonna, even when I was asking the hard questions, he's gonna come with such aggression that he's gonna try to flip it. He's gonna say, "You know what? What do you think?" Like, I don't know if you watched that interview, but it was very much a ping pong sparring kind of situation, because normally you'll ask the artist a question, all right, cool, they'll give it to you, but then he kept coming with the what do you think? How do you feel? And I'm like, yo, I had to kind of play his game a little bit. So it's all about who the subject is, man, and just being mentally prepared for that.
Say, because I'm an artist and I'm serious about my shit.
But you feel me? And I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yep. So look, man, Shut Up and Write comes out, man. Were you nervous about the reaction?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because it was me putting myself out in a different kind of light. This wasn't an interview. This wasn't a cover story. This is me emceeing. I was nervous about me putting out the tracks, but I think how we released it made the process so much easier for me, because we didn't just drop the project. I think the one thing that we really wanted to drive home with this whole rollout was I rap, and I'm pretty good at it. And I think that mission was accomplished, and I think we did that through the freestyles. I think we surprised a lot of people, because I just randomly came on one day and I just started rapping. Yeah. And cats were like, the fuck is this? To the point I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this as a build-up for the project, because I think that was more effective than me just dropping a tape or me saying, yo, I'm rapping. I think I needed to build up that momentum and get people to say, like, for you to hit me up and say, yo, you're rapping? Let me check your shit out.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, yo, I'm here. Like, you have some substance where you're like, I see what you're doing now. Let me actually see if you're the real deal. And that was with Black 100. Black 100 was the appetizer, and it got people to listen. 24. Those were the appetizers to get people to be like, you know what, I'm intrigued. The freestyle, they're intrigued to say, yo, you know what, I'm gonna give this cat a run.
Facts. And then, like you did, you came out with Back 100, and it was like, all right, well, let's see where this goes. And then, yo, I'm dropping the album. Oh, word? Okay, you really ain't playing. You got some clips? You got something in the chamber?
Yeah.
Who are some people that that you looked up to the most that gave feedback on the project?
It wasn't really anybody I would say looked up to, but I would just say, like, I had rap peers really, hit me up and show me love. Like, I know Royce, he liked a couple of clips that I put out, like, for Black 100. My homie Reason from TDE, I actually played him the unreleased track, and I had sent the Black 100, and he was really wild. You know, there's a lot of cats that really, you know, showed me love and were pleasantly surprised because they were like, yo, you can actually, if you wanted to bar up with us, it wouldn't be on some like, oh, we about to wax this nigga real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like he could actually hold his own. And so I think more of the lyrical cats, I think I really, you know, showed improve and earned their respect, and even publicists. You know what I'm saying? I think the publicists hit me up on some. Sometimes I'm like, I know y'all doing this at the ploy to get in, but they'll be like, yo, shut up and write, fire album. Yo, can you check out my artist? But there was some publicists that was right.
Yeah.
Some publicists that I knew that were super genuine and knew of this mission and, you know, applauded me afterward because they would keep it 100. They would be like, yo, Carl, you know, maybe you should just lay back. But I haven't, to be honest with you, and I'm grateful for this, I haven't gotten a bad response so far from it. So that means I did something right.
You did, man. You definitely put out a great project, a great body.
Thank you, man.
Man, you had a lot of great things happen this year, man. You know, you made the Diddy list, you made you got a new apartment. Nobody know what new apartment is like. Nobody know when you get that key and you walk in that empty.
Yeah, bro.
Nobody know that hit different. That hit way different. Yeah. So I gotta ask you, man, what do you feel like was your biggest accomplishment in 2020 since we at the end?
I was thinking about this actually earlier today. I would probably say working with the Grammys this year, being in LA, being on the red carpet, and doing it for Billboard, you know, especially, you know, as a Black man being on that stage and being decked out in that suit. That whole weekend was a blur, man. I did Rock Nation brunch the night before, and to do the Grammys the day after, it was validation in a weird way because it was like, yo, like, I'm here. Like, cats can't tell me nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can walk away today and be happy with how I, you know, took care of my career. I would not walk away with any regret. I would not walk away with any dissatisfaction. I think that whole weekend itself, man, it was a huge feat, and I'm definitely proud of that weekend, along with the project, along with the cover story that I was able to do this year. More than grateful, man.
For sure, man. You making accomplishments that, you know, is it crazy that you making accomplishments that people really look at and be like, man, I can't wait till it's my turn. I can't wait till I get that one day.
Yeah, because bro, I mean, none of this was ever, you know, planned out for me, man. Like it's weird. I always knew in the back of my mind I would be great, but some of the, you know, accolades that's been coming my way, some of the interviews, some of the, even the respect factor, it's been a lot to take in. It's been overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's super equally important to me to make sure while I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, I make sure I'm setting up the next generation and I'm helping writers come through and reach those same goals or even shatter mine. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, bro, I want to see people win as much as I win, man. That's the beauty of it all, man. Hov said it best, man. You ain't shit if you win and your whole team ain't, man. Mm-hmm. You win the club and your team outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens, man. Especially, man, right now with like with what you saw, the impact that journalism had in 2020, man. Like, just so much happened. Like, what did you think about as far as like not only wanting to help, but what did you think of some new venture or new inventive ways to just be like, man, I want to go to this job and really do some game changing stuff? What are some things that you thought of, like going to, or that you want to bring to the table that could, you know, really inspire a lot of people or really change the game?
Man, I would love to bring back, you know, some like on camera stuff, some shows, man. For myself, I mean, I would love to be able to even bring in some more people to help out, man, some writers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know with every publication right now, we're kind of going through the same thing as far as this pandemic has been limiting opportunities. But once I'm able to get those keys back in motion, you know, I'm ready to just get the ball out there and get everybody back on the field and ready to go. I would love to bring back that show that we had earlier this year, On the Block, Billboard On the Block. It was like a talk show that we used to do with artists And that's another thing too. I can't wait to be back outside again, man.
Right.
Yo, like these Zoom interviews are cool, but I
Yeah.
want to be with the people, man. You know what I'm saying? The vibe is just different. So it's like a win and lose situation, because I honestly I felt like I made my come up with these Zoom interviews. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
We all did.
yeah, we all did. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you've been stomping shit out with these Zoom interviews. So this is 50. So
Yeah.
you know, you also want that feeling though, just to be with the people again, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Man, one thing I want to ask you about the project, man, who weren't you able to grab for the project that like you were it was in the works, but
Hmm.
not like not like a Nipsey or nothing like that, but who
Right.
did you send the stuff over to? They was gonna get on the track, time just pretty much took its course and held out for you.
Yeah. There's some tracks like Love Me. I got Mickey on it. It was supposed to be Nick Grant, me, Mickey, and Nick Grant. Same thing with Sylvan. Sylvan was supposed to get on the album. Sylvan LaQ. I was actually thinking about reaching out to Big Crit. I just never did it. Like Big Crit was on my mind for the album. Yeah. But yeah, there was some cats I was really like leaning on. I was just like, yo, but I just at that time what it was too, I kind of sabotaged myself because I was still in that fear mindset where I was like, yo, I wasn't ready to let cats know that I rapped. Um, but Big Crit was another one. Pure, the Rob track. I initially was going to have. I hit up Rocky Fresh and Phil Day. I was gonna have those two on the track together with me for Pure, but it just never panned out. And I was able to get Rob. Thankfully, that ended up being the perfect track. So yeah, I had some cats, man. Like and that's the thing. If you notice, like again with the features, like I'm more about like the sonic feel and who would sound best on tracks instead of trying to go for the who's who of the bunch.
Facts, man. One last thing I want to talk about, man, is I wanted to wait until the end of this to talk about, man,
Yeah,
was Come Home.
yeah.
I mean, you said a lot of great things about your father. You said a lot of, revealing things about your father, man. But the reason why it hit home to me is because I was raised by a single parent, and it was like
Yeah.
real relatable to learn like everything about your father. Like I felt like I knew him after that, after listening to that track. I was like, damn, uh, I feel like he just like my dad or something. Like was gone
Yeah.
back here and there, like you talk to every once in a while. But man, like being so personal on that track, and was there other things that you took out that you didn't want to reveal too much about, or want to dwell too much about on the track about your dad?
Nah, it's crazy because again, like, Come Home, that was actually one of the newer records that I wrote. I wrote that record in August along with India's Interlude. And the reason why I wrote that record is like I was telling you, I had a whole outro that was pretty too revealing, too scathing, and painted him in a bad light. And my dad was alive when I wrote that record, that 2018 record. And I just didn't feel comfortable putting that out, knowing that I had lost him last year. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? Let me actually paint a real clearer, vivid light of my relationship with my dad, because I've forgiven my dad. The 2018 track, did not forgive him. I was in my bag. I
Yeah,
was like, yo, you're a dick. But 2020 was me coming into that land of forgiveness and embracing him for who he was. Because at the end of the day, my dad was a great father. He may have not been a great husband. There's things he could have done differently, but I didn't want to, hold him accountable still to this day, because if I'm holding on to shit, that's something that I'm gonna need to deal with personally. So it felt good writing that record, man. I said everything that I needed to on that. I kept it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad was in and out of the paint. My mom thought my dad wasn't really like, vibing with me like that. So it was a tough feeling, when I lost him. But I'm at peace. I still have my moments, but I'm more so at peace now.
yeah, which is something you also talk about on the on the track, as far as like you said even now until this day you still think about I just want a hug from him and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, just listening to that track and thinking about everything that you went through with your pops, man, has that sort of prepared you for fatherhood, even though you still, you ain't ready yet, but
Yeah.
has that prepared you for fatherhood at any chance?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I look at it like this, right? Like I said, I think my dad, he did what he was able to. Um, but I know for me, just building that Lamarre name going forward, I want to rewrite, how the men in my family were as fathers to their kids. And like I said, my dad did a great job with me in terms of providing, and he did what he was able to, especially for my little brother too. But there's certain things that I know that he did not receive because he didn't have a father. My grandmother played both the mom and dad, and there were certain things that he was not taught. So there's certain things that I want to instill in my kids going forward that has me ready, when that time comes to be a father, that I want to make sure that, that the last name is strong, but that love, that black love, you know what I'm saying, for whether it's a son or a daughter, is there 24/7, and they're in good hands.
Facts, for sure, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time, to talk to a competitive journalist like myself, man. I'm trying to get them big headlines like you got. I'm over here like reading your stuff and being like, man, I can't wait till I write some wicked shit. I'm gonna send it to him and be like, look at this. Like I'm out here, you can't tell me nothing. I'm waiting on those. I'm waiting on those moments. I mean, I know they'll come eventually, but
They're
like, oh
coming.
man, let me ask you, like, if you think like I do, man, when did you realize that look, it ain't no going back with this, whether music or journalism? When did you finally realize like, look, ain't no going back. If I die for this shit, or I'm gonna go broke, or I'm gonna be homeless before I sit here and do anything else. I'm finna really this is my end all.
Man,
So
this this was maybe, it's crazy. This was maybe right before I started at Billboard. I had lost my job. I was like this content producer at a company, that shall remain nameless, and I hated that company. I hated the kind of writing that I was doing because it was salacious writing. And I remember losing my job, and when I lost my job, my parents had sold the house that we had in Long Island, and I was moving into a situation where I didn't have a job, and the apartment that I had just gotten, it was a week before I was moving in, and I remember just thinking to myself, yo, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, the first thing that I thought of when I got laid off, I hit up every editor that I was cool with. And that's why I said relationships are so important. I hit up every editor that I was cool with. And I said, yo, I'm back on the market. What's up? Because mind you, the kind of content that I was doing at that spot was so salacious that I was scared to use that as my clips to show to the notable hip hop sites, because I'm out here bashing artists for
yeah,
traffic. And yo, there was a point that I was actually using a pseudonym. I wasn't even using my real name. I was using another name because it was that real. Because I knew I was gonna jump back in the hip hop game, and in order for me to do so, I can't be using my real name. And I just remember being in that do or die position. I ain't have shit, my dude. Like I said, I was eating spaghetti every day, my G. You know what I'm saying? Like I was living in a basement apartment, and when I say I was struggling, bro, like my dad helped me move in, and I'll always love him for that. That first month or two, he was helping me take care of myself. And by November, because I moved in September, by November, that's when I got the call from Billboard to be like, yo, let's rock out. Let's start you out, freelancing full time. And that's when everything just changed. But those 2 months, I was like, yo, I'm going to man the fuck up, do what I got to do. Cause I love this shit, bro.
mm-hmm.
I love this shit. Ain't nobody going to stop me from doing this shit. And if I got to struggle for a bit, I'm going to struggle. And there's times, bro, I couldn't pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? And I had to beg my landlord to let me rock. I had to beg, my fam to be like, yo, I got you when I get paid type shit, to hold me down. Like cash at me 50 for this groceries, you
Facts.
know? And those are the nights that keep me up. You know what I'm saying? Those are the moments that keep me up and keep me grounded and remind me that, yo, this shit could be gone tomorrow.
He said, if
That's
I
why I always
play
try
this
to,
spaghetti right now, I'd throw that bitch at the wall.
bro. It's real, son. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, yo, And I always have a box of spaghetti in my crib just to remind me. I love spaghetti, but nigga, I'm about to be linguine tonight, so I'm looking at this shit right here. Like, that's the thing. I couldn't afford this kind of spaghetti.
Right?
You know me? I'm about to make some Alfredo shit, but I was going for the 99-cent joint, bro.
Right.
Like, it was real out here.
Facts. Man, oh man, you remember the last time you got turned down for a pitch? You remember your last artist that you tried to, like, last new artist you tried to present to the editor, like, look, this man fire, and they was like, nah, I'm good.
New artist. You got me going in my freelance bag. Shit. It's tough. You know what? It's not a new artist, and it's not even an artist. I remember, and I ended up getting it, but I had to beg for this story to go up. Bro, I had interviewed Russell Westbrook, and this is right after he won the All-Star Game MVP. And this is when I was freelancing.
What? Yeah.
And nobody wanted the story. I remember writing for MySpace, and I was like, yo, boom, I got Russell Westbrook. What's up? They're like, nah, we good. And I just remember the fee that they offered me. And I was like, what? Like fucking $100. I'm like, this is fucking Russell Westbrook. Like, he just won All-Star Game MVP.
Yeah.
And then I brought it over to Green Label, which was like Mountain Dew. It's a thing at Complex. And I remember the editor was like, yeah, I'll give it to you for $125. I was like, yo, you gotta be shitting me. I ended up giving the story anyway, because I was broke as shit.
Here, man,
like that. I'm like, is Russell Westbrook worth $125?
Man, I know. But you got that. Hey, but Westbrook, he saw it though. He saw it though.
Bro, I mean that interview itself was dope. But yeah, man, I'm trying to think, man. Like, you really got me.
Look, I can say mine's was The Weeknd and Party Next Door. That's how long.
Who the hell turned down The Weeknd?
Yeah, a lot of people. It was when House of Balloons had just came out. Literally that same day, I wrote the story and put it out the next day. Tried to give it to somebody, and they was like, "Nah, we don't even know who that is." I was like,
"Wow,
facts. Fuck y'all."
and look where the brother ended up becoming.
I was trying to be on some breaking artist shit. I was like, look, man, he just came out last night. Like, look, this shit is it. This is gonna be some game changing shit. They was like, we don't even know what he looked like. And it was like, you know what? It don't matter what he looked like. He gonna do some shit. So,
bro, that's wow. I think I may have been in the same situation with P&D. I think one artist who was actually, Tory Lanez. I remember like back in the day, I was on Tory, and cats were just like, yeah, nah, we good. And I was like, all right. And then he started, because Tory's been out for a minute, like I'm talking like 2012. And cats were just like, nah, he ain't gonna do it. And then he ended up blowing up.
Facts. That's how I get out here in these streets, man. But man, appreciate you taking the time out. If y'all don't know, man, you got Carl Lamarre in here. The man, the myth, the legend. He don't like to be called a GOAT, but he a young legend amongst us, mortal journalists and rappers out here, man.
Don't do that.
He over here jumping over y'all rappers though. He like, look, I'm gonna cut the line and I'm gonna get in with these bars, man. You don't know. But for those that don't know, man, make sure you check out his latest. Well, yeah, I guess we could call it your latest because it wasn't your debut. You came out, 2 tapes before this?
Yeah, check out my latest project, Shut Up and Write. It's on SoundCloud. And be on the lookout. I got some shit coming 2021, man. We already working.
No doubt. Man, for y'all that just want to check out the breakout tracks for Shut Up and Write, man, make sure you check out Young Legend. Come home to get a full understanding of who Carl is behind the pen, man. Check out Come Home. Check out Black 100. That was the first one that came out that really set the world on fire about him coming out as an artist. Man, check out Back at Work. Check out Dreamers. Man, you got Rob.
Just check out the whole project. You already gave half of it. The whole project. I love that. Thank you.
Rob Markman, Mickey Fax, Elijah Blake, DJ,
Gemini Gilly, shout out to her.
For sure. And then,
Great Genius, shout out to her. She came with the vocals on "Love Me." Shout out to my whole team, man. You know,
Man, we
Federal
didn't get to talk
Reserve.
about those behind the boards though, man. But shout out those behind the boards.
Man, shout out to my man Genesis Renji, man. He engineered the project, man. He is also an MC himself, super talented. I call him Baby Travis Scott. He's out of Milwaukee. Guy is a freaking beast. Shout out to all the producers that showed me love on this project, man. My man Bliss, my man Dior. Like, we got some cats on there, but we actually, that next project, man, it's coming soon. That's all I'm gonna say. We got some ish coming. So
is it going on
we
streaming
working
platforms this time? Is it going on that?
This one's going on streaming platforms. This is the one that's going to go on streaming platforms. So I can't wait for everybody to see it and hear it.
Yep.
It's a lot of bars. I'm gonna say that. I thought this one. If y'all haven't already, go to listen to "Shut Up and Write." But I'm gonna be banging them out, man. We're not gonna be playing. We're gonna keep banging them out.
For sure, man. And then, you know, like I asked if it was going on streaming services because, you know, you had a lot of samples that I know would cost a bag to get cleared.
Yes, sir.
Man, I want to know, man, when you was in here doing this Genuine and all these R&B vibe tracks productions, was you in there licking your lips before you dropped the verse? You was like,
You know, I did by LL. I was just
gotta make sure the lips is juicy before I spit.
Dog. And shout out to LL, man, because that's the comparison I've been hearing so much. You know, just with my rapping and my voice, I've been getting a lot of. So it's funny when you say the whole light skin lick your lip shit, because I'm like, yo, Cass is legit pinning me to LL every time I rap. So I mean, listen, I'm about to get the baby oil. You know what I'm saying? I've been working out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for
make
the
sure the baby oil on your nipples.
yeah. We got the baby blue beanie. You feel me? So. We gonna have something.
All you need is the old gold rope, and you be back in the game. You got the choker now. You out here.
We got the choker.
I see you shining.
A little something. I just need the Kango.
Yep.
I just need the Kango, and we good money.
No doubt, man. Like I said, we got Carl Lamarre in here. You know, established journalist, established wordsmith, man. It's for y'all don't know, man. Make sure you check out "Shut Up and Write" right now on SoundCloud. It's free, so you ain't got no reason to be like I can't check it out nowhere. So you got every access to check it out on SoundCloud, man. And shout out to SoundCloud for being the go-to outlet. You know, we gotta definitely throw them some bones. And man, like I said, man, for those that's trying to follow Carl, man, you know, just go to the nearest Billboard byline, man. You're gonna see his name right there, dropping some fire conversations, some fire editorials. You know, hey, he just did a great job with the cover piece for Women Empower for Billboard.
For Women in Music, yeah, thank you, man. Much love on that, brother.
For sure. You know, you had Cardi up there with the stilts. I know that stilt she was on, so.
Yeah, that was a fire. That was different. That was a fire cover, man. Applaud to her and the team for getting it done.
For sure, man. Like, we look forward to seeing you do many more great things, and you're gonna be around for a minute, man. You know, we're gonna see Carl at 65 out here still dropping these fire articles, man. You don't let it. And then he accepting all challenges. I want to let you know out here. You think you can do better than me with this shit? All right, prove it.
I'm gonna be Jake. I'm gonna be Denzel from He Got Game, man. That's what we gonna be doing.
Come on, Jake.
I'm gonna be Jake, man. Call me Jake when I hit 40, bro.
Don't be scared. When he dropping on you, don't be scared. Don't sit there and call him out and then hide behind glass. You know, we can see you. We can still see you. But like I said, man,
you feel me?
Appreciate you taking the time out, man. You know,
man, boom. I appreciate you, man. You a stand-up guy, man. You a stand-up journalist. I appreciate everything you do for the culture. You've been moving the needle this whole 2020, man. You've been shining, and I can't wait to see what else you guys have in store, especially this is 50, man. You guys have been ripping it all across the board, man. I've been seeing you dropping 2 interviews a week. Like, you out here, you coming. If cats don't know, then they need to know.
Trying to ask them hard-hitting questions, you know. I
see that, man.
Need to get those off. You know, I'm tired of the clickbait out here. You know, I don't need to know what controversy you in. I need to ask you them real questions that people really need to know. So we're gonna
thank you, man.
I'm coming. So
I see that, and I appreciate the questions too, man. You came with some in-depth questions, and you even taking a thorough listens to the project, man. So I really appreciate that, man.
No problem. Anytime, man. Like I said, man, Got Carl Lamarre, man. Let's check him out. Go check out his byline. Go make sure you listen to the project. And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.